I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council. Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community, many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home, and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, That's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story, adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to
now listen to BeExposedRadio.com. Check out this fire flashback.
Within our community, we got to look at ourselves and love and support each other. However, when we bring color into the perspective, we are no longer looking at each other as equals. We are dividing ourselves even more so than what society divides us. We're already divided with inequality, not unequality, but inequality within a system that is meant to keep us down. Here we are yet again doing things that are detrimental to our survival and sustaining of a fruitful living. We're causing more mental health issues upon ourselves in our own society and our own communities by talking about the difference in complexion, even when it gets down to the point where we discriminate upon each other. I've often felt that I have been discriminated against, even with my own people, when it comes.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
From the Say It Like It Is program, which is a program that really grew out of the very first storytelling project that I got to do in Baltimore called Be Here, Baltimore. Our aim really was to work with the cultural storytellers of the city to help their stories and their voices be heard more broadly, but also help create a more inclusive cultural record for the city. Our long-term aim, by giving these stories and these storytellers a sort of a more permanent home here at the Peel, is to start changing the narrative about the city, to make sure that there are stories out there, besides the ones that tend to get kind of recycled on the evening news, and that the city really is recognized and appreciated for all of its diversity and all of the different communities and creators that live here. So the Be Here Baltimore program started out in 2016. We had a grant from a mobile company called Easy Travel that allowed us to provide microgrants to storytellers to create tours of the city, and then we helped publish those digitally on a range of platforms to really increase the audience. In 2017, the Baltimore National Heritage Area, through their Heritage Investment Grant Program, very generously gave us a grant that allows us to give out more micro-grants to storytellers. So one of the ways we've been working with that micro-grant program is with Nate Hauser from the Artist Exchange Radio Show, which is an internet radio show that's on Be Exposed Radio. And he's working with storytellers to kind of help us professionalize and expand our reach, and also through the Say It Like It Is program. So just a word of background from my perspective, and then I'm going to hand off to Lamontre to give you more details. One of the things that we really want to make sure we're doing is working in a very grassroots up way. That it's not me or anybody else at the top of a pyramid dictating which stories get told and which ones get preserved. So we really wanted to go from talking to listening mode, if you will. And I had the great opportunity to meet Professor Audra Buck-Coleman from the University of Maryland. She was the convener of a project called Be More Than the Story, which resulted in an exhibition at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum in early 2016, in which high school students from the Augusta Fells Savage High School created an exhibition about their perspective, their response to police surveillance in the wake of the uprisings and Freddie Gray's murder. So that, her working process in which the students really took the lead and decided what the exhibition would be really impressed me, as it exactly the sort of paradigm, the sort of model that we wanted to use here at Appeal. So I asked her to help us figure out how to do a storytelling program with local high school students about their experiences of race and segregation in Baltimore schools. The idea for that really came from two places. One, when we were doing Be Here Baltimore, we found that a lot of universities, including Loyola University, and representatives from that project got involved with Be Here Baltimore. They found that it was a really great way to get students off campus into communities around Baltimore, learning about local stories and meeting people, and really starting to appreciate as they document the city. So we created a kind of special series called Be Here EDU to support those academic efforts, uses of storytelling. Then when I came here to the Peel in 2017, I learned that one of the really important parts of this building's history, after it was the first purpose-built museum in the country, after it was Baltimore's first city hall, it became home to male and female colored school number 1. Now, that was one of the very first public schools for people of color in Reconstruction era Baltimore, and it was the first of those schools to offer a high school education to African Americans in the city. So I recognize that racism and segregation in Baltimore schools is one of the most important issues facing the city today, and that its roots in some ways found their origins here at the Peel. So we wanted to, as we were researching and excavating that history of the Peel as male and female colored school number 1, to make sure that that was connecting all the way through the centuries up to the present day. So we're working with Lamontre and students that he and Professor Buck-Coleman have convened, and also with Mama Linda Goss, who is the storytelling partner in the Be Here Baltimore project of David Finlay, who's with us today. She is herself a graduate of a colored school, a segregated school in Tennessee, and this fall she'll be running a program here at the Peel called How We Got Over, where she will be interviewing other graduates of segregated schools about their experiences. So now we have finally all the elements in place to connect the 19th century history of the building with 20th century lived experiences of segregated schools, and now the contemporary voices of local high school students as well. So that's a lot of detail, but it was important to kind of set the stage. And with that, I'm going to maybe hand over to Nate to take it from here.
So real quick, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Nate Hauser. I'm the host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. And for the last 5 years, I've been helping individuals, mainly artists and community leaders, tell their story through my radio show. And what was so interesting about meeting Nancy and the Be Here project was the whole purpose of this museum and this space is to facilitate telling your story, be it the arts or community activism or education, so on and so forth. And I've seen a plethora of activities happening here with the whole foundation of just telling your story. So I'm not going to get too much into the radio portion of it, but I love talking to people about them and what they do and their impact and who they are. I focus on engagement on my show, whereas though money is very tight. So as an artist or anybody selling something or service or some kind, it's very important to engage with your audience and just allow people to get to know who you are. I know before I spend my money, I want to know where it's going. I don't need to know your grocery list, but I definitely want to know the individual and the organization that I'm supporting is very connected to my mission statement. Else, my money is going down the drain. So the individuals that I interview, it's very important to me that they start from themselves and then they branch out to their 15-second elevator pitch, if you will. So today we're going to get to know a couple of individuals that are very active in this DMV area in terms of art, activism, and education. So without further ado, I'm going to ask this gentleman to introduce himself and tell us who he is as a businessman and artist.
Thank you. Hey everyone, my name is Lamontre Randall. So it's funny you say I'm an artist, you know. I think we all are artists, right? And sometimes we just gotta, what can I say, tap into our creative talent sometimes. I didn't know I was an artist at first. But my name is Lamontre Randall. I'm one of the co-founders of the BMO group that we help connect people from the streets to the streets. One of the first art things that I did, I would say, was when I started a clothing line at the age of 16, right? And it was called Cool Peoples. And my art, what I'm learning, is always connected to activism. And the reason why it was called Cool Peoples was because one of my cousins had got shot and killed due to gang violence. And I wanted to change what outlook of what people think cool really is, right? And so I wanted people to say, oh, he's Cool Peoples. I know Lamontre. So that was that movement. I went to go to University of Maryland, College Park. Was doing well. And then a white woman accused me of armed robbery. And I had guns drawn on me. And it changed my whole outlook on activism, right? I didn't want anyone ever to get falsely accused of armed robbery ever again, and I realized the only reason why it happened. I walked past her. She said she felt threatened, so she called 911. I didn't even remember seeing this woman before. But what it showed me was a lot of people have these perceived perceptions of different people, of black people. Let's say it how it is, right? Of black people, and a lot of it ain't true. You know, and a lot of us need to work on getting out of our shells, and it kind of challenged me to get out of my shell as well, right? It challenged me to learn about different cultures. I even went as far as minoring in Asian American studies and went on to Japan and learned about Japanese culture. And what it did was, what I learned is, in America, and based on this history, right, we have this state of division. And a lot of this division keeps repeating itself, right? And it's keep repeating itself because a lot of people who went through the division are not telling their story, not opening up about what's really happening, and not really making efforts to check certain situations, right? And so one opportunity came to me to actually check the situation and create a better immersion of cultures was to be more than the story art exhibit. This was sort of how I even started a consulting firm. Once I graduated from college, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, businessman. I didn't know how. At the age of 22, the university called me and they were like, hey, this is University of Maryland. I'm like, okay, what y'all want, some money? I was like, oh, where's the Sally Mae? I was like, all right, what's going on? They said, we want to hire you as a consultant on this project. I'm thinking to myself, consultant? I ain't know what a consultant was. I wasn't going to tell them though, right? So I was like, oh man, I'm a consultant. And what they wanted me to do was help bridge the gap between Baltimore high school students and University of Maryland College Park digital, study students. And it was a challenge, right? So what's the challenge? Getting mostly white students who are going to work for CNN, Fox News, WJZs, all these different stations, right? And who haven't really got experience to the distressed communities, and having them understand about the different barriers and issues young people face, right? And helping them be more, what's the word for it? More understanding culturally, right? And so pretty much making sure they don't say nothing crazy when they get immersed in the classroom with the students. And there was also another balance with the students, right? Because you're talking about high school students with college students. So you have to get the high school students comfortable in their skin, right? Most of them majority minority, and having them comfortable in their skin and comfortable with saying, hey, I don't want it like this, I want it like this. This kind of dictates. So making sure that they tell their story, right? And so that's why it's called Be More Than the Story. It's playing off of, forget what CNN, Fox News, thinking about what the uprising was. This is our story, this is our belief, and this is what the uprising is. And it was beautiful. One of the most beautiful things that really hit me within the exhibit was, it was vultures, right? You know how vultures usually prey on the dead. So we had vultures throughout the exhibit with cameras on it. And you was able to see, through the cameras that the vultures were looking at you. They was like, yeah, that's how we feel about helicopters. Helicopters are constantly preying on us, making this sound at night. We can't sleep.
So based on what you've said so far, the word diversity keeps popping up in my head. Where do you think a city like Baltimore and cities like Baltimore are with becoming more diverse in terms of resources and just application of stuff to help people?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say it like it is, right? Baltimore is at a very interesting point, right? We have activists that's fighting for resources. So Leaders of the Beautiful Struggle and Frontline Solutions and a lot of other grassroots for Children and Youth Fund, which I think was $25 million, I think, this year, between 10 and 25 million. And what this was a fund within Baltimore City that is geared towards making sure that grassroots orgs who are geared towards, what can I say, youth activism are getting paid and getting allocated resources. So that's a good fight, right? So, but then when you think about diversity, man, and you look at the Baltimore history when it comes to housing, you see a whole different thing. You see that we are really sort of going backwards. We're not being intentional at all as really bringing in the resources and really making sure everyone feels like this is home and making sure that we're thinking inclusively within our city. I think we got a long way to go, and I think really it takes more intentionality from everyone for us to be more people.
So going from diversity and digging a little bit deeper and uncovering the word gentrification, Baltimore isn't really at the forefront of gentrification in terms of things already changing and people already being eliminated.
I disagree.
But I'll say it this way because it's still time for us to be able to turn things around before it gets to a point where none of us can live in the city anymore and it's all people that's being transplanted here. How do you think we can kind of curb it before
So we have to work together. Right now, the clock is ticking. It was just released. There's one that Trump just released. Y'all can look it up. It's called Opportunity Fund. The Opportunity Fund, if you put all the money you invested into like one property, and they got opportunity zones. But guess what? The number one opportunity zone, the most opportunity zone is that Baltimore PG County. You know. So, and with the opportunity zones, it's a tax benefit where I think you could, if you keep that investment for 10 years, you get all the tax benefits of it. So you record the laws, you know, and recoup and don't pay taxes on it, right? So that's like something that's really, I think, is going to push the gentrification process when you think about bringing in different developers. But the only way to really stop it at this point really is getting our people educated on FHA loans. We teach financial literacy. We partner with Harbor Bank, the community bank in Baltimore, so we have a financial literacy app where we teach with the distressed community. But the community don't know, right? FHA loan, you can get a home with 3.5% down. You know, you can't beat that. You know, but unless we really work together and practice group economics, and we make more grants available for those who are long-term, long-term tenants, and really being intentional and keeping grandma's house, right, and keeping up with grandma's house and renovating it. Then I think we're going to see the same thing that happened in D.C., but we just need an education. Education will help create that, you know.
So because your focus is really young people, children, how are you in your organization kind of preparing the children for making decisions that would benefit them and not keep them marginalized?
Yeah, education, right? So we teach the young people, and not only them, right? We teach their families about financial literacy. We also get them to become young activists for themselves, right? Tap into what they want to do. How they got education, right? So we teach the young. We help them think about not only them, right? We teach their families, right? And help them think about creating a legacy. You know, like I tell them, like you wanna, if you would die today, what will people say about you? I'm living so I can have a great last name, right? And so I want my funeral to be packed, and I want everybody. I want to have a monument here. You know, I want my face to be on the wall somewhere, right? And so if you're not living, you know, to establish a legacy, then you ain't living. And so that's kind of.
How do you talk to somebody that's 15 and 16 about forever when they feel like they have forever?
That's actually, so some of them may feel like they have forever, but a lot of the young people that I get caught up with, right, sometimes it can be the hardest of the hardest, they feel like they don't have forever. Mm-hmm. Like the thing is in Baltimore is you don't live to be 25, like, you know, you don't live to be 21. You know, they throw that as the culture. Even if it's not true, that's what's thrown in your face. That's what you watch on the news, right? And so I had to fight that, right? When I'm trying to talk to them about legacy, like I gotta fight with, okay, you're gonna live long, and it really is really watching what they say, right? And I do it through hip hop. And so anybody know Tupac kept saying, you know, he was saying he was gonna die, you know, and when you throw death out there, death comes at you. You know, whatever you bring out to the universe, I truly believe it comes right back at you. The same thing with Biggie. You know, and so I see it time and time again, even when I talk to the brothers and sisters on the street. When you throw negative energy or death, is what I call it, then that's exactly what you want to get.
So now, kind of bringing your conversation to a close, can you speak on the importance of entrepreneurship, both for adults as well as teaching it to young people?
That's a good question. I truly believe you either own or be owned.
I just heard a quote, actually, I'm not going to name the book, but it says, you're either sitting at the table.
Yeah, and that's so true, right? And really, when I look at the job market, that's the reason why I teach entrepreneurship, and I push for it, because once you create your what can I say, your brand, you'll always have a job. Jobs come to you. It's no longer you bringing out your resume. They already know what you qualified to do, so they come to you. And so for everyone who don't know, my clients include, I was a board member of the Baltimore City Police Department. I work with the Casey Foundation when it comes to workforce development in Baltimore. We just did a release report talking about how to improve those youth between the ages of 16 to 28 who are currently unemployed and face a lot of different barriers. Right now, I'm also working on me and a lot of other activists in the community working to build a East Baltimore database hub where everybody knows about data, right? Like the data is powerful, but the problem with data is it's in the wrong hands. It could go change the community in the wrong direction. And so we're trying to get data that's actually controlled by the people and for the people. Also worked a lot with small businesses, helping them grow. And I teach young people and mainly minorities on how to become business owners themselves.
So we're at the end of his interview. I want to open it up to you all to ask Mr. Trump. Lamontre, any questions that you may have for him? Anybody have any questions about what he does and who he is?
I think the work that you're doing is really great. And up in Govan, we're also working to have data driven by community, but also population level data. And so I'm interested in hearing about your work in East Baltimore. How do you ensure that community voice is leading the process versus kind of put behind the population level data that's already there?
Yeah. So within our team is community advisors, and mainly the community advisors are the ones within the community, and they're the consultants, right? They're the ones that are going into the community, collecting the data. They're also the ones figuring out how we even should go about it, right? And mainly with having the community being part of that whole process and being the leading functions to make sure it happens, that's usually. But I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's been like, just for us building up that process, took about a year, I think over a year now. And so, and we still not there. We still didn't create a hub. We right now looking for a research team. So I tell people also be patient, right? If you're talking about community and creating real change, you have to be patient and you have to be very intentional and flexible. Don't think your way is the best way. If you really want to include the community, know that your way may change. And be cool.
Any other questions? So I'm going to ask you just to give out where people can find you, maybe social media or how they can contact you, and in terms of like partnerships, what you may be looking for in terms of support.
Awesome. So I guess first is support and partnerships. We're doing bus tours throughout the city, and we really giving people a real immersion of Baltimore and getting them the real feel. You'll get to meet the different activists within the community, the different business owners, and really get a real feel of what Baltimore is, right? So we're doing that, and we're definitely looking for groups of people who are willing to really learn about Baltimore, and so they can help, what can I say, hopefully, and we're looking to hopefully help you guide you in your work and what you do, so you can be very intentional through email at lamontre_Randall@yahoo.com. Lamontre is spelled LAMONTRE_Randall, RANDALL on Facebook, I am Lamontre, Lamont with R-E at the end, last name Randall. On Instagram, I'm just one name, Lamontre Randall, and I should be the only thing that pop up.
Well, I appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
through today, sir. And if you have any questions, we'll definitely tag him and his information to this live once it goes up. So thank you, sir. Next up, we have a phenomenal musician and storyteller himself, and I'm probably going to have to do less work this time. But David, could you join me? I actually met David, how you know, sir? I met David for the first time, actually, I believe here. Him and Mama Linda were doing a storytelling Rio session, and I had seen him perform out, but I hadn't actually got to meet him yet. And then I got to interview him on air, and I should have said Dr. David. He just recently got his doctorate from Johns Hopkins University. That's a lot, sir. Well, you but I want to first let you introduce yourself and tell us a brief kind of backstory of who you are.
All right, cool. So I am Dr. David Bakole. Born and raised in East Baltimore. I describe myself as a mercenary for change. So essentially what that means is if you have the coin and if you are about the liberation of people, you can call it. I fancy myself as somebody who can operate in multiple sectors. So I am a researcher, I am a practitioner, I am an artist, I'm an activist, I'm an instigator. My sole purpose in life is to destroy the system, to be the virus that infects the system so that it ultimately dies. So that's how I describe that. Wow.
I'm waiting for that first book to come out. And aside from him being a storyteller and an activist, he's actually a musician. He's a drummer. How long have you been playing the drum?
I've been an African drummer for well over 20 years.
So when did it start?
I started at, I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. It started because my mother saw a performance at the National Great Blacks and Whites Museum by the Sankofa Dance Theater. I think it was one of the Kwanzaa shows that the museum usually does. She saw this little boy around my age who was drumming. She said, oh, I want my son to do that. So she took me to the classes and I stuck with it and I've been drumming ever since.
And you're also a member of Windward?
I'm a member of Windward Productions, social change theater art company. We utilize many artistic forms to talk about the truth and reality of Baltimore and the United States. It's black oriented, but it really speaks to the experiences that many people have when it comes to injustice.
Can you tell us the framework or the foundation for your doctorate degree?
Ooh, okay. So let's take you all back to 2009. So I graduated from the University of Maryland College Park, double major in psychology and criminology. I was always told by my parents that you have to get a graduate degree. You have to do better than us. You don't have a choice. So I told myself that. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. Fortunately, before my senior year at Maryland, I did a research program at Rutgers University in New Jersey that introduced me to
Tearless baby shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right. They were going into that National series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a -65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So when you're in a negative number, that means that you're.
Then your average game you're losing
by a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, a number like -65, this early in the season is pretty rough.
That's horrible.
The pitching numbers pretty much support this stat right here. I mean, the team ERA is 4.70, which is 26th in the league. They have 126 walks allowed. They acquired Jared Weaver in the offseason, and he really has not panned out. He's off to one of the worst starts in any of the pitchers in 2017. He's 0-4 with a 6.05 ERA. In May alone, he already has 12 earned runs in May. And, another one of their pitchers, Clayton Richard, he's 2-4 with a 4.34 ERA. And, in May, he has 6 earned runs and 12 innings pitched. So they're not pitching well. And on top of that, they are also not batting well.
Right. But it kind of sucks because Manuel Margot is doing pretty good. His the past few at bats, his last.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate, and we're here live in the Be Exposed Radio studio. What you were listening to was an interview that I have started down at the Peel Center in downtown Baltimore, 225 Holiday Street. It will be a series of interviews called Be Here Stories. It is taken from an app that was created by Nancy Proctor, and she is actually the director of the Peel Center, and she created this app to be able to take down the stories of individuals from the Baltimore, DMV area, and beyond. So you can actually go to the app on any of your listening devices, your phones, tablets, computer, download the app, and you'll be able to tell your story. And basically what it does is geotags your story wherever you are. So today, in addition to that interview, and we'll get the rest of that interview at the end of the show, we had two phenomenal young men being the first two interviewers on that series. So today we have Mama Linda, and we have a gentleman that she'll be interviewing as well from her griot, Baltimore Griot Society. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mama Linda and her guests. Well, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So we'll be starting just soon. So Mama Linda, whenever you're ready.
Well, oh, well, well. Well, oh, well, well. Well, oh, well, well. Well, oh, well, well. It's storytelling time. It's storytelling time. Gather round my people. Well, well, gather round my people. Well, well, gather round my people. Well, 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 well. Come on, clap, 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 clap. Ah, clap. Clap, clap, clap. It's storytelling time. Yeah, yeah. It's storytelling time. Yeah, yeah. It's storytelling time. Oh, yeah. Well, 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 well. Yeah. Welcome to How We Got Over. I am Mama Linda Goss, the storyteller in residence at the Peel Center, and the storyteller ambassador for the National Great Blacks in Wax Museum. And today I have with me a wonderful brother, a great griot, master storyteller, Brother Clarence Moloch. How are you doing, Brother Moloch?
I am doing quite well, thank you.
Good. Now, this is a program called How We Got Over that is sponsored by the Peel Center. And this is through a grant from Maryland Traditions, Maryland State Council on the Arts. And what How We Got Over is about, it's about black storytellers talking about their school days in Baltimore and throughout the state of Maryland. What they encountered, the sweet, the bittersweet, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we have Brother Moloch here to talk to us today. And first of all, Brother Moloch, yes. I want to ask you, because we are both part of the Griot Circle of Maryland. And many people want to know, well, what is a griot? So will you please tell us to you, what does a griot mean?
A griot is a storyteller, but not all storytellers are griots. Griots tell history. They name children, they officiate at weddings, and the sort. A storyteller tells stories. And so we're coming to you today as griots and storyteller.
Yes, yes, very good. Now, Brother Moloch, how long have you been living in Baltimore?
I have been here, I'm a transplant from the Eastern Shore. So I have been here for about 28 years.
Oh my goodness, so you've been in Baltimore for about 28 years?
Yes.
Now, where were you born?
Oh, I was born in the same town as Frederick Douglass, Eastern Maryland, down in Tuckahoe in Talbot County.
Now, when you were a little child, did you hear anyone talk about Frederick Douglass?
We never had any art history. It was well shielded from the colored people. They did not want us to go into an uproar of any kind. So we never had the history.
Wow. Now, tell me about your parents. What were their names?
Ooh. My father's name is Charlie Moloch, and he's from Cambridge by way of Vienna, Maryland. That's on the Eastern Shore. He had a 4th grade education, and he just seemed smarter than that. But no, life can make you really go. My mother, Minerva Henrietta Green Moloch, and I say Green because Harriet Tubman's family, Harriet Green, her mother, all seem to be in the same family. I have worked on my father's side of family history. When I started on my mother's side, I realized that, yeah, I was brought up on Poplar Neck Road and Marsh Creek just like Harriet Tubman's family were. And so there's got to be a relationship there, but I have not started my family tree on my mother's side.
Now, in terms of where you're from, you mentioned your mother. Now, where she lived, was that part of the Underground Railroad?
Let me tell you what I know and not what I heard. Okay? What I know is that Marsh Creek and Poplar Neck is between Choptank and Preston. So if I may say, Choptank is white, Preston is white, Marsh Creek is a black settlement, and if you go down that road, you're going to see a black settlement. And that's where my mother was raised, and we were visit the farm several times of my great-grandfather.
Now, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
Oh, I had 4 brothers, including me, and 4 sisters, and the reason is because we worked on a farm. The more children you had, the more people you had to work on the farm. That was a blessing and it was a curse.
Now, what did you do when you say you work on the farm? Did you work with animals, or you work on the garden or the crops? Or?
Well, we worked on a chicken farm. It was poultry and produce. On one farm, we call him the boss man. He had about 25,000 chickens. And on the other farm, he had about 130,000 because he had like 4 or 5 chicken houses there. And what we would do, we would feed the chickens in the morning and feed them in the afternoon. That's after we were about 7 or 8 years old. Before then, at 5 years old, we worked in the fields. We picked cucumbers, tomatoes, cantaloupes, watermelon, corn. I can go on and on.
Now, your parents, did they go to school?
Yes, my father, I was told, went up to the 4th grade, and then he left Vienna. He left Cambridge, went to Vienna, left Vienna, came to Preston, saw Mom, and that's when they got together, got married.
I see. Now, what school did your mother go to? Do you remember?
It was a 1-room schoolhouse on Marsh Creek Road that has been renovated and changed, and now there's a gap of land, which is forest land, that I used to hunt in, and behind that is the grave site, and I call it our family grave site.
Oh, wow. Now, what type of school did you go to?
I went to a school in Jonestown Elementary. And in Jonestown Elementary School, which was about a 10-minute bus ride, all black, and it was, I started there, that's where I started drawing, actually. Actually, I started drawing when I was about 4 years old, and the story behind that is that my older sister was doing fashion design, and when she was doing fashion design, I would be at her knees looking at her draw. So she would draw this lady, and then she put clothes on them. And so I got a pencil, went to the wall, and drew this lady upside down, because that's how I saw it. Well, Mom came in and beat me. She told my father, because that was a nude woman on the wall. And I was 4 years old.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But what happened there is that when I got to 1st grade, when everybody was doing stick figures, I was doing gingerbread people. By 2nd grade, I could do portraits. A very good likeness too.
So did your teachers encourage you to draw, to be an artist? Who encouraged you?
I loved seeing my 1st grade teacher, Miss Caldwell, but the 2nd grade teacher, Miss Truxton, she was an artist. She did well, okay, and I would follow her, and mainly because her first name was Artist.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so she put me on bulletin board detail, which was a curse because whenever something had to be done, it was Moloch, go to the bulletin board and set it up. And it was a blessing because I did not talk a lot. I did not actually talk much up to the 5th grade.
Now you say you didn't talk a lot. Now why was this?
Well, the short story behind that is that our principal in the 5th grade, he was a tyrant. You know, I love him dearly, but he was a tyrant. He would beat you with a leather strap because he worked as a barber also. And if you did anything wrong, he would bring out the leather strap. And he did not particularly like me, I'm sure, because I was the only boy in the first group. There was 6 of us. I was the only boy, so he would always challenge me. And if I messed up, I would get beat across the back and sent to second group, but I was too smart for that, so they put me back in first group, and that's the way it went. But one day he says, "Boy, what happened to you? How come you didn't comb your hair?" As he was reaching for the strap, I was scared to death. "Stand up, boy," and I stood up. He said, "How come you didn't comb your hair?" And that was one of my first words. I said, "I will wash." He said, "What?" And I said, "I will wash." He said, "Say it slowly." I said, "I will wash." And he said, "Come here." And that was the beginning of speech therapy. I did not know I had a speech defect. I was wondering why people didn't talk with me or to me. No one could understand me.
Wow, now how long did you have speech therapy?
That took an entire year because they said I had a lazy tongue, more or less. And I had to practice the alphabet, practice speaking, all of that. And up to this date, I'm over 60, up to this date, I still have problems with the letter R. You know what I'm talking R, yeah. If I think about it, sometimes my words will not come out. And most times I try to get over that, but I still have problems with that one letter.
Now, the school you went to, you mentioned your principal, you mentioned your teachers. Now, was this an all-black school? Were these black teachers?
Yeah, we're talking, let's say, all-black teachers up to the 5th grade, all-black teachers in middle school until integration. Integration was at 1966. That's when we integrated. And before then, to go to high school was a 2-hour bus ride. And in those 2 hours, if the school bus stopped, the white bus would come by and throw everything from bricks to eggs at our bus. And the bus driver would say, "Roll your windows up," and just not roll, but we lift them up. And we just wait for it to come. And we were harassed every time one of the buses went past us.
Now, did the students on your bus, did they throw anything back?
Oh, we would get a beating if we did anything like that, any type of retaliation.
Now, were the white students punished for what they did?
What was the word punishment? And white didn't even work together.
Right, didn't go together.
No.
So by the time you were for middle school and high school, the schools were integrated, and as you would ride the bus with the all-white kids would throw things at you.
No, yeah, this is before, up to the 1966, up to the 10th grade.
Okay, up to 10th grade. Now, once you were in school, middle school and high school, did you encounter any racism?
I can tell you some of the things that happened. On the bus ride, all the black people had to, or colored during that time, had to sit in the back. And if a white person came on and there was 3 in a seat, they could go and sit anywhere else, the bus driver would come back and tell us, "Move back." So we ended up with about 4, sometimes 5 students in a seat because we had to be seated. And the seat would comfortably hold 2. Okay, so you might find 3 sometimes, but we were herded in the back. But that was a good thing about that, which I should not say good. We also had to do bus drills, and which means that you get out the bus and whoever's in the back will help the rest of them come down. That's a long drop. So in the first bus drill, colored people jumped out and the boys held a hand up. We helped the ladies down, everybody down. But the white people wouldn't touch us. And so they would fall. They would rather fall then it touch us.
They would fall?
We'd do like this, and they'd be jumping down, hurting themselves. And
oh, my goodness.
It was funny to us at the time, but they would not touch us. And that's when they had to change that around, let the white boys go to the back first during the drill, and they would just let out the white people, and then we would go.
Now, when you were in middle school and high school, were your teachers white or black?
Okay, up to the 10th grade, they were black, and they just pushed us to do well whenever. I was 65. I won the 1965 Books Award for reading. Wow. I wanted to learn to read, to speak well. It's just in me, so I won the award, and it pushed me to, you have to go to college and all of that. Soon as integration came, you're never going to college no matter what you say, and these are my guidance counselors.
And that's what they were telling you?
They were telling us, don't think about college. In fact, they put me in a vocational center to do agriculture, and I lived on a farm. I argue because I was in the Honor Society, and when I graduated, I was the only black male in the Honor Society.
Oh my goodness, congratulations.
Yeah, but that was not good because in the Honor Society, my boss man's daughter was in the Honor Society, and he could not stand the fact that one of his workers in the field was in the same organization as his daughter, so I was punished. Had to work on the farm alone sometimes, do extra work, anything. And when she came out into the field to talk to me about the program for inducting Honor Society, he had a fit, and I was punished for nearly a month or more.
Oh my goodness! Just when you say punished, what was your punishment?
If it was 25,000 chickens, I had to feed each one, which means take a 50-pound bag of sack, put it on my hip, and feed each one as I did this. That's the whole chicken house. And going outside, if they had a whole field, I would be the only one in that section holding no help. No one brought water, no one brought food, from can't see in the morning till can't see at night. And it was on and on.
Oh my goodness.
We had to do it.
Now, were your parents, were they considered sharecroppers?
My father, yes, a sharecropper. He worked the land that the boss man gave him, and as long as he was there, he could go ahead and do it. So what he did, and I did not realize this till after I came to Baltimore, my father was a country Arabber.
Wow.
He would get the food, and he would go out into the community, the black community, and he would say, hey, potatoes here, tomatoes, onions, we've got chickens, pullets, on, and then he would always go to Cambridge. And that's the part that I didn't understand until I got older, why he would go to Cambridge in the day, be back before night. Well, to get into Cambridge, you have to cross Race Street. That's all white. At night, don't even think about coming across to come out. No, and so that's the way we lived our life, is going to Cambridge in the morning and coming back. In '68, when H. Rap Brown came and Stokely Carmichael, those were turbulent times. Those were turbulent times, but no, we made it through.
So when you were in high school, did you do art? Did anyone encourage you to do art? Did anyone encourage you, did you learn anything about history or black history, about yourself?
I did not know anything about history, especially black history, okay? It was never taught. But I had a teacher who worked on a potter's wheel. I saw her do that, and for some reason, that's what I wanted to do. And I ended up being a adjunct professor at Bowie State University in pottery. But that's another story.
Pottery. So you majored in pottery, or you majored in art?
In art. I was an art educator.
Art educator.
Yes.
And your field is pottery.
That's my main field. I was told that I could not teach, mainly because I could not talk. But that was then. Those who knew me back there did not know me as I was when I went through school.
And pottery, in terms of the black tradition, is a long tradition. Going all the way back to going all the way back to Egypt.
Yes.
And in America, in South Carolina, you had Dave the Potter.
Yes.
Dave the Potter. And Dave the Potter, please Google his name. Just Dave the Potter. He created the most beautiful pots, huge pots.
Yes, yes.
And he would sign his name, Dave, and he would put a little quotation or a little saying on there. So what you were doing, like you said, go all the way back to the ancestors. Now, When did you discover your blackness, and how did you discover it?
Oh, it made me shudder. Okay, I started at Bowie State University. I was on the 3rd floor of Kennard, and I saw people, the black people walking. I've never seen that many black people in one place in my entire life. Okay, and they were talking black power, and this is 3 o'clock in the morning. And I went to the window to listen, and then somebody said, "Will you stop that noise and go to bed?" And I'm thinking, this man out here is hollering black power. We all should be out hollering black power, and it was epiphany. And I wrote a poem about it. Cannot say it, but I wrote a poem about it. And from then on, I realized my blackness.
Okay, your blackness. Now, what music were you interested in during that time?
Actually, when I first started, I could not dance, so any music was fine with me. But what happened in high school, I did join a little dance group. Okay. Okay. And
we're gonna have to stop it at there. Okay.
Okay.
And come back.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't forget, tune into BeExposedRadio.com. Tune into our new music station. Shout out to Edward Bird for holding the #1 spot for this week now with his song Ran Into You. For information or to see who else is on the Be Exposed Music Top 5 charts, go to BeExposedRadio.com. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's gonna be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle.
Woo! Fresh air.
What a glorious morning.
Clean water.
Woohoo! This is great.
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing.
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to
this.
do is turn
Marcy
onto Marcy
and Brad
Avenue.
just broke up
and go past the first 3
she's
lights,
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
then drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. Hey, we're getting that 6 seconds from the hill, that news. You can use that word on the street from our favorite country lawyer, better known as Judge Harry Sutherland. All right. So, Harry, I hear there's shenanigans going on in Georgia because they don't want that sister to be the governor. What's her name? Stacey Abrams?
That's her. That's who she is.
Look, I'm supporting Stacey Abrams.
That's right.
I don't know, super producer, if this is considered a call to action. I call it since we still getting ready for the homegoing for Aretha Franklin, I call it a sisters doing it for themselves.
Hey,
you know what? Annie Lennox should have been in the tribute. We talked about that last week. But I support this sister being the governor of Georgia. She could make history, but I think there's some shenanigans going on with the polling place. What are you hearing down in Georgia, Harry Sutherland?
Well, if you live in Randolph County in Georgia, state of Georgia, what they're doing now, they are trying to close certain polling places so that they said blacks will not be able to go vote. They're not making it accessible to the blacks, so they're trying to close them, and then that means that when they don't show up, if you don't have a polling place near me, I'm not going to vote. So they're trying to kind of disenfranchise them. But what's going on is the officials that are trying to close the polling places are saying that it's not accessible to disabled people. But now you're closing it, so what's the problem?
Well, because you probably don't have a ramp. These places probably haven't been refurbished. Not that I'm agreeing. I'm just giving the NAACP, the Urban League, the SCLC, Action Network, Al Sharpton.
That's right.
I'm just giving them the argument of how you fix this, how you remedy this. So we need brothers and sisters to get out there and put a ramp out there.
Okay.
So everything they say is the reason why we closing it. Okay, we fixed that.
Right.
That's right. Now what? That's right.
Now what? Now what? But the other thing we got to do is we need to early vote. We need to early vote, especially in the midterm and elections that you know are going to be close. You want to early vote. You want to get that ballot vote early and often, like we say in Chicago. Get it and vote. And why? Because, listen, everything they trying to do back at you. It's gonna happen in 2020. You know what I'm saying? So this is the practice run of how we know what's going to go on. You know, Courtney, you was amening. What you feeling?
Now I'm feeling they also need to find out about mail.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. Say hi to Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. We're now streaming live on all 3 of those platforms. And look us up on any of the podcast services like iTunes, Google, Spotify, and many more. Search for Be Exposed Radio and catch up with us on all of our scheduled shows. You can go to BeExposedRadio.com and click on the syndication button, and you'll see a number of apps that you may already have downloaded on your phone that you can pick up past and current shows of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. So we're going to go back to our now guest, Mama Linda, and her awesome guest.
Well. Welcome back to How We Got Over.
Yes.
And I have been enjoying this wonderful conversation with Brother Clarence Moloch. He is truly a griot. He is an oral historian, and he has shared such wonderful facts with us. And he was telling us about dancing, about some kind of dance in high school. Will you continue?
Yes. Well, for one, I couldn't dance for nothing, okay, but it didn't mean anything. They gave a dance in high school, and this is integrated now. And they had a band, and the black people, of course, sat together, and all the white people sat there, and no one danced. And so the principal came over to our group and said, if you all get up and dance, maybe they'll get up and dance. We couldn't follow the beat of the music of the band. And so we discussed it, and then we got up, and someone said jokingly, let's dance white. Okay, so we jumped up and we just started going, okay? But they thought we were so great. They jumped up and the whole floor was packed in no time. And so what we were doing, we went to our own dances. So we jumped, and once in a while somebody would say, white dance, and we all break out, and we go back again. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
That was it there, yes.
Now I was looking through your yearbook. Yes. And it's true, you were the only black in the Honor Society.
Yes.
And I noticed a teacher in here, an art teacher who was black. Can you tell me something about him?
Oh, Mr. Dethrone Moore. That's my mentor. He pushed me to do artwork. I do not know what he saw in me, but he saw something. And I would work with him as he did his artwork. I would do my artwork, and he would talk about what I did, and it all worked out fine. On his funeral, he did something that was quite amazing. He asked, or I was asked to be a pallbearer. And naturally, I said yes. And when I went to the church, it all worked out fine. I saw Tyrone Holmes, who was a classmate of mine. Hadn't seen him in a while. Art classmate, okay? And then the Baltimore brothers, who were artists. He brought together about 3 different generations of artists that he taught to be his pallbearers.
Oh my goodness. And
we all look at it and they would say, well, we heard about you. And I said, yeah, well, we heard about you because we were all great in art. I didn't say good, I said we were great in art. And he just brought us all together. It was amazing.
Now, you were pallbearers for his funeral?
For his funeral.
Oh my goodness.
And he had Michelangelo Pietà on his casket.
Wow.
It was great.
That is wonderful. So, after high school, because this was been around the time during the Vietnam War, right?
Oh,
now, were you drafted or did you go immediately into college?
My buddies were being drafted just like I was. And I'm not ashamed to say I was 4F because I had an accident when I was a child, and they said by the time I was, the accident was when I was about 5 years old. By the time I was drafted, which is about 18, 19, they said I should have been dead.
Wow.
So we had to settle what was going on, and we found out. But I decided I'm going to college. Okay. Now, besides what the counselor said, I decided to go to college. And this is the part that people don't seem to understand with a big family. When I went to college, that means that whoever came after me would have to work on the farm. And it was a 4-year difference between me and the next set, which is 3 more. So I'm number 5 of 8. I did not want to go, but I knew I had to go. And yes, I would have been the first one to go to a 4-year college. My 2 sisters and my brother had to work the fields. My sister drove a tractor like a man, and she was 3 years younger than I.
Wow.
All right? My little brother, he could lift baskets of cucumbers and tomatoes. My other sister, Darlene, worked in the fields. They worked hard. And that was to me, it was a punishment that I gave them because I left. But then when you think about it, the twins before me left, I had to do their work. And before that was my brother went to the Air Force, and we had to do his work. And before that was my sister. We had to do the work. So it just went all the way down. And the last person to work on the farm was my little brother.
Wow. Now, what college did you attend?
I went to Bowie State University.
All right.
Bowie State University. I was so glad because all the things that I have learned, all of my artwork, especially was honed at Bowie State. Dr. Stallings was a mentor of mine. He did the refectory at Morgan State. He painted the mural there. But I had another teacher, and his name just went out of my head, but he helped me to become what I am because Amos White, Dr. Amos White. He was a ceramist, and I molded myself after him. Short story, I went back to the Eastern Shore to my great-grandfather's property, back into the woods in the stream, and I saw a wall of clay, a beautiful clay. If you've never seen raw clay, it's a beauty to behold. It's raw clay. This is old. This is animals and trees and limbs that have been compressed until it's clay. You can feel the difference. Well, I got that clay, took it back to Bowie, and I actually threw it on the wheel. Throwing it means putting it on the potter's wheel and coming up. After it dried, I put it to the kiln overnight, okay? Went to bed, came back. The whole building was evacuated. Smoke was coming out.
Oh my goodness.
And I walked up there and they were looking for me.
Oh my goodness. So it caused a fire?
No, it was worse. The clay had sulfur in it. I did not know that.
Sulfur.
It had sulfur in it, and the sulfur was coming out of the kiln.
Oh my goodness.
And so they had to evacuate the building. Whereas the our president of the college he was just shaking his finger at me. All the other students, when are you going to fire again? Because they had to miss classes. And I was a hero to them, but you know.
Oh my goodness.
And I still have those pieces that I made. Still have them.
So you majored in art education?
Yeah, I majored in art education. During that time, if you went to college, you were going to be a teacher. Now it's fine arts, and you have to ask to be a teacher.
I see.
Right? And so during that time, I went to be a teacher, and I finished another short story. The year that I finished, during that summer, I had to go to work. I was working for a man who sold exotic birds, and he needed someone to clean the cages. So literally, I had on hip boots, and I was knee-high in manure, shoveling, when I got a phone call. And the guy in the house came out and said, "Hey boy," white man, "Hey boy, there's a phone call for you at my house." I didn't know, okay? And so I had to hose myself down. I went over to the house. Hi, your name is Clarence Moloch? Yes. He says, you're the one who wanted to teach up in Harford County? I said, yes. He said, well, when can you start? I said, this summer, whenever. He said, can you come up by August? I said, yes. And he said, okay, we expect to see you up in August. Now, I just got out of, I left high school, went straight to college, left college, went straight to teaching. I went back and I told the man, he said, who was that on the phone? I said, that was a person who hired me to become a teacher. And his exact words were, "You, a teacher? I guess you're just going to stop now and just leave." I said, "No, sir. I was taught to finish what I started. I will finish these cages. I will shovel everything out and get rid of them. And when they're clean to your liking, and then I'll leave."
Oh, my goodness.
And that's what I did. And so I left that and went on right into teaching.
So you say you were an art teacher in Harford County. So what grades were you involved? Was this elementary, middle, or high school?
9 through 12. I was an art teacher for grades 9 through 12. And the first 2 years was more or less mental and physical abuse. Oh my! Because I had to do whatever they said, and the worst part was being rubbed on my head, which or tapped on my shoulder, or saying you are credit to your race. But I had to take that to get tenure. As soon as I got tenure and I signed the paper, the principal reached up to grab my shoulder and I stopped his hand. And I said, "No, time has changed."
All right.
I said, "We will do that no more. If you touch me above the shoulder anymore, it'll be serious litigation." And that was the end of it. So for the next 30 years, they're trying to get rid of me.
So you were you were in Harford County for 30 years.
For 32 years.
For 32 years.
Yes, the first 2 was the tenure, the other 30 was the teaching, yes.
And you had to deal with a lot of mental, physical abuse.
Yes.
And were you the only black teacher at your school?
When I started teaching art in this particular school, I was the only black art teacher in the county. In the county? 32 years later, I was the only black art teacher in the county.
So the whole 32 years, you were in Harford County.
Yes.
You were the only black
male teacher, high school.
Teacher, period.
High school, yes. And what they did, I had a teacher, I had a student who I taught or helped to get through school so she could come back. She went to middle school, so now it was 2. So whenever we had a meeting with all the art teachers, she and I were the only 2 blacks there.
Wow.
When I retired in 2005, she said, "Don't go because I'll be the only one." Welcome to my world.
That's something. So what else happened to you when you said you had to endure so much?
Oh my, it seems like I could do nothing right. They tried to get rid of me. I was accused of too much. I'm not going to go into it. I'll just talk about some of the minor things, such as gymnastics. I did gymnastics in high school, and so I became an assistant coach, and I was very good in gymnastics myself. And one of the things that you do is that when you're doing a back flip, if you cannot make it, as a coach, we put our hands under the back, underneath the backside, and help them to go over. And then we get back off the mat doing the meet. And so we did boys and girls. And so when one of the girls' turn to do the back flip, I ran on, helped her flip over, and ran back. This man came running onto the mat. cursing, yelling, no, don't touch my daughter. I'm thinking, what? Everybody was trying to figure out what it was. And he was upset, and his wife was trying to pull him back because she came to the meetings and she saw what would happen. She knows that if I had not done that, she could have injured herself. Okay? But he had never come and tell the meet.
Oh my goodness.
And so that was a big stink right there. Oh my gracious.
So he didn't want you to touch his white daughter.
I could not touch his white daughter. When I was dancing, I was doing the modern dance, interpretive jazz, and in fact, in college, we went to Alatuchi's studio, and I also had, this is just me talking, I also had a dance with Alvin L. and Judy Jameson doing a workshop.
Wow, that's wonderful.
We were good.
You were out there. Okay.
So I tried to tell them that, and it was like, no, you cannot teach, because most of the white girls came to dance because it was like, oh no, then something must be wrong with this black man teaching these white
girls modern dance.
I got out of it. I didn't need it. I didn't need that. So they missed out on a lot. They missed out on a lot. And that was that. Dancing with my artwork, I was asked one time to show black art. So I gathered all of my artwork. And I took it and spread it out, and they said, what's this? I said, you asked for black art. They said, no, we talking about, you know, where you got people, and we're trying to explain. I said, oh, you mean you want posters of people, posters of black art.
Posters.
They said, yeah, so I just gathered all my stuff, and as I walked away, they said, can you help us? No, because I do black art. I don't do posters. You can find that anywhere.
Right.
Okay? And so they got upset. The first time I put up an art show, we had models in college, and they were white. And I had beautiful paintings of models. But it was fine till they found out that I'm the one who did it. They closed down that part of the show.
So
it was like, oh, beautiful. Look at the brushstrokes. Look at this and that. And then when I told them about this is a gentleman who did it, but he's colored. Oh my.
So they closed the show.
They closed the whole section of the show. Oh my gracious me.
Now, what year was this, Brother Mola?
Oh, now this is when I first started. That's in the 70s, 80s, 70s and 80s.
Wow.
See, in the 70s it tickled me because in the 70s people said, well, you want to go back and dress up like the 70s. Back in the 70s, for me, it was BBA. Okay, BBA was Black by Association. During that time, the white people wanted to be black. And so they dressed, and then that were the hippies where the black people wanted to be white. And that was just a hassle. It was, I just can't go back to dressing like that and going through that time. It was a turbulent time for me, just out of the 60s, 68, jumping down into up to 73, 73, 75. It was like, oh, it was turbulent.
Now, did you have any friends, any teachers there that you would consider your friends or you associated with? Did you eat with them in the cafeteria?
Oh, no. It's strict policy. We were taught that adults were adults and kids were kids, okay? And so I worked with the teachers because they trusted me. Why? Because I was the only black person in the honor society during the integration, during the high school. And so I had access to certain places, teachers' lounge, places like that nobody else could get access to. And so I was trusted by a lot of the black and the white teachers, mainly because I was the only black person. It was a curse. But it was so smart and blah, blah, blah.
So you taught there such a long time.
Oh, did you?
So the question is, how did you deal with this, like you say, the physical, mental abuse? How did you deal with it for so long? How did you get over it? As the name of the show says.
There you go.
How did you get over it?
I went back to my daddy. I am serious. And this has surprised me. We used to go fishing on Suicide Bridge. It was called Suicide Bridge for a reason. Today, 2018, churches and other organizations go to Suicide Bridge, to the restaurant, and they eat crabs and enjoy themselves, you know, which is nice. My father would be rolling over in his grave. When we went fishing, I was with my father, and these two white boys came up, and they told us with the N-word we got to leave. And we were there. And so my father put me behind him, and when they started approaching, he pulled out that little penknife of his. He held them two boys off with just the penknife and his words. Okay? And they were afraid to go anywhere near him. I saw that. I said, oh my gracious. Now, this is my daddy. Okay? And then he said, go ahead and go on fishing. They better not come back. Or as he put it, they better not come back. Okay? And so, you know, with how strong he was during that time, he endured a lot. Okay? And he would have, the boss man would have him come and get me out the fields because I was in the Honor Society, and the people would come and say, "Oh boy, you smart. Let me rub you on the head for good luck."
Oh my goodness.
And that was for years
So
ago.
you endured
So when
that
I got in high
school.
school,
Wow.
yeah, when I got in high school, I mean, when I got into college, and well, when I started teaching, I have a problem with people touch me above the shoulders. I really, because I got bald spot now. Okay.
So you were a teacher, and who was rubbing your head? The other teachers or the principal?
I'll say some of the faculty and some of the administrators, because I don't want to call names.
Right.
That was one of those things where, we saw that you were such and such, blah, 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 and then one put their hands on me or try to trick me up. I just did what I had to do. I was taught in school how to survive. And that's the only way we could have gotten over without getting in trouble.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that you and your father went fishing, and you mentioned hunting.
Oh my.
Now, and do you still hunt?
Yes, I do. I'll tell you a good story behind that. My father broke us up, two boys, two of them fished, two of them hunted. I was with my oldest brother, and we hunted, and my other oldest brother and my younger brother fished. And so to this day, I hunt. And the season is coming up. I've already got my license. In my freezer, you will not find those exotic animals. What y'all call them? Chickens? But I used to raise. I have game in my freezer from venison. I have muskrat. I have sometime when possum is in season. I take that squirrel, rabbit, dove. You name it. I hunt to this day. And when I developed diabetes a couple of years ago, I was told that I have to stop eating all this. And I told my doctor, no, I need to stop going to the restaurants to eat. And so I got off, I stopped going to restaurants, continued with my game. I lost 20 pounds. Diabetes reversed itself.
Oh my goodness.
So I went to the doctor. He said, "Oh, I see you did what I told you." I said, "No, I did what I felt was necessary."
Wow.
And that's how I got over all that. But that keeps me on this earth now.
That's wonderful. Now let me ask you this, because I know when we think of hunting and when we think of, Second Amendment, it is associated primarily with white Americans.
Yes.
Now, when you were teaching in Harford County, did they know that you were a hunter? And what was their response?
Oh, no one knew that I had a gun. Okay. I know. But I'll tell you some serious things that happened. One of the things, they had show and tell one day. I'm sitting at my desk, and a little white boy comes in, and I look up, I said, "May I help you?" And he pulls out a gun and lays it in front of me.
A real gun? A real gun?
Ooh, yes. My reaction scared him, okay? And I calmed down, because I could have gone off. I said, "What are you doing with the gun?" "Oh, it's show and tell, and I'm going to show them how I do work this gun." I said, "Does the principal know?" "Oh, yeah, he knows." I said, "Well, come with me." Took him back to the principal, and I told the boy to put the gun down, asked him to leave, and I don't think the principal ever heard such words come out of my mouth, because I was upset that he allowed this kid to come in. What he was supposed to do was to take that and hold it there. It was a safe gun, but you take it and you hold it there until it was time for him to come get it, talk about it, bring it back. But he didn't let him walk around with it. And I left the school. I said, "Look, I'm taking the day off. We have to find somebody to take your place. Have fun." I was done. I was so done.
In terms of you had mentioned something to me, I think last year, something happened to you while you were teaching. Oh. They accused you of something.
Oh, I have been accused of molesting boys, girls. I put up Egyptian symbols, so that was devil worship. Okay. It's like no matter what I did, they had to find something wrong with me. Okay. And I could not let students come in after school, because my policy was never alone with students.
Yes.
Male or female.
I don't blame
never alone. Okay. And so when I was accused, they couldn't prove nothing. Because it was all a lie. They were fabricating replicate this. I would be out on the football field, and during a game, they put me on the side where there was nothing but white people, because that was the school, and I was supposed to be monitoring that side, and they kept encroaching onto the track field and onto the football field while the game was in session. They would listen to me. So I walked onto the field, and they had to stop the game. The refs came to me. I pointed and said, look, they will not listen to me. They're up here on the field telling me to get back to the bleachers. So he announced that if that neighboring team did not go back to the bleachers, they would forfeit the game and lose. And so I stood there facing them because I was not going to stand there with my back turned.
I don't blame you. Wow, wow.
But it's just those types of things. And I had the principal saying, well, you ought to go and teach in Baltimore since you live there. I know I'm fine where I am.
Wow.
Because if I left, I would start all over again.
I see.
And
So
it's
you,
no sense in doing
oh, I
that.
see. You'd have to start all over again to get tenure and all of that
Thank you.
if you
And
come to Baltimore.
The worst thing I'm talking about how I got over it, every time a black person came in, I would tell them the ins and outs of what to expect. This is what they're going to do for you. Don't fall for it. And several of them fell for it. They get mad, they get angry, and they left. And so with about 8 teachers and almost 50, 60 white teachers, that was all. About 8 of us there. Oh my.
Now, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but you had told me something how they had accused you of some type of cannibalism or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want you to tell. That's what I want you to tell. That one.
Excuse me. This is the beginning in 73. I'm teaching, the other art teacher. One of the things you draw are skulls. And he had if I pronounce it right, a cow, C-O-W.
Right,
okay?
cow.
Yeah, that big skull. And so everybody everybody in the county did this, and I can do better than that as teaching. I hunt, so I brought in rabbit, squirrel, muskrat, all these different skulls, and they could choose one besides just that cow. Okay, deer, all that. One of the kids, the children, they saw this rabbit skull, and they said, Mr. Moloch, what is this? I said, that's not thinking. I think that was just a baby. They said, well, how did it get like this? Oh, I ate that because it was big enough to be eaten. No. Mommy, I went home and told the parents it was cannibalism, and I had the skull to prove it, and they had to look at it because the skull of the rabbit, which is, even though it's small, it's close to human, okay? And I realized, it was a baby rabbit, not quite a baby rabbit. It was
poor baby.
It was It was a small rabbit, okay? That I had harvested. And I call it harvest because I don't go out to shoot. You harvest because I have to eat, okay? Anyway, so they had accused me of cannibalism. I'm sitting there saying, what?
Now, what did the principal say about all of this?
It was always behind the parents.
Always with the parents.
And so then the supervisor says, well, you cannot do those skulls anymore.
So you couldn't bring every other teacher could bring in skulls. But you couldn't bring in skulls.
They only did the cow.
They only did the cow skull.
Yeah.
I see.
If you want to grow, and all you got to
do different
things.
And
see the difference of how this skull is from this one.
Yeah, see the difference.
So everything that I try to do to try to
goodness, Brother Moloch.
Everything I try to do to try to
You survived. I applaud you for surviving. And at this time, we're going to take another break, okay? Thank you so much.
All right.
So we'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We're back at more show on Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. Let me see.
Oh my God.
Boy, if you could only hear. I don't know how we are supposed to get this on the podcast because some people are going to lose their happy homes.
You ain't lying.
It ain't that happy anyway.
No, I'm just like, damn.
boy, she's a hot day, boy.
That's a stereotype.
Okay, wait a
That's a
minute.
stereotype. It takes an unhappy home to step out. Go ahead.
Nope, that ain't what it takes. That's
It
not
sure
what it
don't.
takes.
Not at all.
It's not what it takes. Hold
I step
on.
out on the best day. Just to be consistent.
Baby birthday party. The baby birthday party.
I like to keep mine consistent, Cheryl.
And some people that got ghetto twins.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they was stepping out on the same day the baby was born.
Absolutely.
The wedding. Anybody
I got a family member that stepped out on his wedding day.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
On his wedding day?
And some people mess
Crazy.
within the bridal party.
Oh,
and the groomsmen.
That's
and mess within the groomsmen.
That's crazy.
I'm just tried. You told you. I'm
Had a
just
celebrity do that.
Who was it? Who was it? Who was
the picture? The girl.
I got somebody.
No, we will not be talking about Joe Biden in this. We will not be. We will not be talking about Joe Biden. Some people text message me going, "I thought y'all was going to talk about Joe Biden." No,
it's called a tangent.
And it's a bad tangent that we cannot bring him into.
That's
so, who was the celebrity? Did you find out, Courtney?
I can't remember. No.
Third time.
Ben Affleck. Listen to me. Ben Affleck enters rehab for the third time. And
AC Slater. I didn't want to go there.
AC Slater. Wow.
AC Slater. Let's just leave it there.
Listen, don't talk about my friend.
That's
like
why
that.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Don't talk about my friend.
I was forced
like that. We send a lot of prayers to Ben Affleck because last week they talked about the delivery of the liquor. Right.
What does delivery mean?
It was delivered. It's a box of liquor. Was delivered, but he's supposed to have issues with alcohol. And now last week he entered rehab.
So I just for clarity, somebody delivered him some alcohol, or he ordered.
I guess he ordered from the store, the liquor store. The liquor store. Well, they called him. They took pictures of it. They took pictures of it. No, the paparazzi took pictures of it. Took pictures of
dirty.
So then he had to go. He went into rehab because the story was so prevalent.
So basically, somebody saw him with a case that had been delivered
with a box.
With a box.
I didn't press the number. What you got? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, I'm sorry. A box of liquor was delivered, and then the story started to travel, and so he had to go into rehab for the third time. But
explain this box of liquor like that.
Well, that don't mean he the only person drinking in the house.
He's buying for somebody else.
That's right. What'd you say,
Cheryl,
Courtney?
I got to sing. It was Usher.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We have a special guest co-host today, Miss Mama Linda Goss. Check her out at the Peel Center. She'll be doing her storytelling Griot this coming fall, and she'll be joining us here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, where she is interviewing people for her How We Made It Over series. Her interactive conversation with various individuals who went to colored schools, what then was called colored schools. So we'll be joining her back now with her interview with Griot, Mr. Clarence Mullock. Did I say it right? Moloch. So now back to the interview.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have been listening to Brother Clarence Moloch, Griot, oral historian, talking about how he got over here in Maryland in his school days.
Yes.
Now, as an art teacher in Harford County, would you encounter any problems when you gave out grades?
Oh, the student earned their grade. That was one particular student who earned, and he was a CD student because he figured, I'm going to get an A or B because I'm in sports. Well, I gave him exactly what he earned. And he came to me in school and said, change my grade. And I said, I only gave you what you earned. I went home and I got out my car and drove it. He drove up behind me and got out his car and met me in the parking lot.
In your parking lot?
In my parking lot down where we stayed at the apartments. And he says, you're going to change my grade. And I think about my daddy, if he can hold off some people, you know. I simply told the kid, I said, look here. I said, in order for me to change your grade, a lot of things have to happen. But first, you have to realize you came to see me. You're here in this vicinity here. This is the apartments. There are no administrators around. No one's going to tell me to stop when I start with you. So, you know, if you want me to change your grade, the main thing is that you got to make me change it. But remember, nobody's going to stop us, so you better pack a lunch. Because once we get started, we ain't stopping. He looked around and finally left. Okay, they changed his grade.
So his grade was changed.
They changed his grade. He went to college. First year, he was out. First year, I knew he would never make it.
He came to you. You didn't change it.
I wouldn't change it.
So the school changed
his grade. The school changed the grade. Anyway. And he went to college and came out.
Did that happen to you with other grades you gave students?
Several. I would look and say, what? I didn't, this, and it'd be not just disbelief. I left it alone. I just had to get over it. I need to go from day to day to make it.
Day to day.
Day to day. And I just say this one thing, Black Youth in Action. It still have it in schools. It was called the Black Youth in Action. And we were doing well at the school. And then the parents came in, the white parents said it was unconstitutional to have it. Now this is nationwide, Black Youth in Action.
And what is Black Youth in Action?
It's an organization, Black Youth in Action is an organization where black youth in school get together. It would be like a fraternity and a sorority. I call it a sorority. Okay?
I hear you.
And we did a lot for the community.
Yeah.
All right. And so the argument was that we were not supposed to have it because it shouldn't be all black. We said, well, white people can join us. It's just Black Youth in Action, and even better, go start a White Youth in Action. And that went on for about a year until it just fizzled out because we still had the Black Youth in Action.
Do you still have it?
Schools. Yes.
Oh, you still have it. Wonderful.
In the schools, that's Black Youth
Yes,
in
wonderful.
Action. I love them. Yes.
Now, what's some of the things Black Youth in Action do?
It was a coming of age type of organization for black kids. No, don't be out there on the street. We've got things for you to do. Ladies learn to be ladies again.
Yes, yes.
And we had the sororities and fraternities helping with the youth coming in, and school teachers and the people who own businesses. And it was called the Black Youth in Action.
Wonderful. Now, Brother Moloch, in terms of what you've been through, what you have endured, what advice would you like to share with others to help them get through their crisis or get through whatever they're going through, to get through their school year or their work or their career or whatever it is they might be going through?
The best thing I can say is starting off in high school is where it should have started, but don't look for a job, look for a career. You have to commit yourself to doing well. If you look for a job, you're going to get several jobs. Look for a career. Go to school for that career and make it through. My career was teaching. I wanted to be a truck driver, but I said the first person that calls me for a job, I'm taking it. And the teachers called first, and the truck driver came like a week later.
Oh my goodness.
So just missed out. So no, you need a career. Don't look for a job. Look for a career. A job will help you towards a career, but career is long term.
Yes.
And that's how you get over. Know about the career you're getting into. Don't just walk in thinking, well, I'm fresh, I'm new. No. And being technically
prepared.
Yeah, you really have to know about the tech, about everything, which I don't know too much about, but I'm getting a pension now. I'm happy.
Oh, you're happy. I heard that. Now, tell me about your family life. Did you marry? Did you have any children?
Yeah, I married my best friend out of college. Met her on the dance floor. Okay, even though we're divorced, she's still my best friend. I have two boys. Youngest one is 30. Oh my, he's 36 now. Okay, oldest one is 42, 43, and they're doing quite well. I instill upon them the same thing my father instilled upon me, and I have heard them say, I'm doing things just like my daddy.
Wow.
And my oldest one said, I'm doing just what I remember Grandpa doing, you know, which means they did that. A side note, I took them both hunting because I wanted them to see that dead is dead, okay? And you fire the gun, and you see what happens, and they refuse to touch it since then, okay? And it was a good thing, okay? And they appreciate what I did. I'm sure they do.
Well, Brother Moloch, I thank you so much for sharing all of this with us today, and you and I both are part of the Griot Circle of Maryland,
yes.
which is an affiliate of the National Association of Black Storytellers. Please Google us, National Association of Black Storytellers. Google the Griot Circle of Maryland, and we meet the first Saturday of each month. And so this has been a privilege and an honor.
Oh, I thank you for having me here.
So much oral history. This is what we're talking about. People sharing their stories that you won't find in the history books.
No, you will not.
You won't find in the books on psychology. You won't find them. So that's why we feel this is important here at the Pill Center. And I thank the Artists Exchange, and I thank Brother Nate. I really do. Thank you so much, Brother Nate.
Thank you so much.
For having us today. And as we end, I just want to say, well, oh, well, well.
Well, oh, well, well.
Well, oh, well, well.
Well, oh, well, well.
It's storytelling time.
It's storytelling time.
So gather around, my people. Listen to your stories. Listen to the stories your children tell. Please talk to your grandparents, your aunts, and your uncles, and get the story from them.
Yes.
It's important to find out what happened 25 years ago, 50 years ago. What happened back then, and compare it to what is happening now. And you will see some similarities. You will see a continuation in terms of how we as black people are being treated and all the things we are facing, and how we are surviving from what we've learned from our parents and our grandparents and so forth and so on. So again, I thank you.
This has been another edition of the Artists Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Monday and Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. only on BigExposedRadio.com. Up next at 7 p.m., Just a Bit Outside Radio Show. If you're looking for some sports, entertainment, and just all around good fun, Just a Bit Outside Radio Show with Keisha and Mark, only on BigExposedRadio.com. Thanks. See you Friday.
Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. Hey, you listen to the Cheryl Underwood Radio right now. Don't forget to subscribe to the World According to Cheryl, the podcast of Cheryl Underwood Radio. You'll hear everything. You'll hear what we can let you hear during the break without losing our homes and our livelihoods and our jobs. Do that. Absolutely. We let them know what we can let them hear in the podcast. Also, you'll hear the best of Cheryl Underwood Radio, and you'll hear Radio Theater. The entire week of Labor Day, you hear Radio Theater and the best of Cheryl Underwood Radio. So let me see, what do we miss? What do we miss just between
that and that?
Yeah, that and that and that. Slogans for Joe Biden, because I think Aerosmith would let Joe Biden use Dream On.
Right.
When they telling Trump stop doing it, you know, so I bet they let him do it. And also, big ups to everybody buying Aretha Franklin music, even though she passed on without a will or trust.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, I get it. I mean, I have one, and I think I got to start. I got to go back and look at what I put in place years ago.
Throw me in there, Cheryl.
Okay.
I want the,
and your favorite country lawyer.
I want the Bentley, not the Bentley, but the floor mats.
You just don't I'll take the condo.
You said on the air.
No, Dale said he wants the Ponderosa.
He wants the Ponderosa.
I'll take the Louis Vuitton.
Can I get the fireplace
I'm
out
not
the
even
condo?
dead. Oh, you can get that right now since they won't let me use it. You can get that
fireplace.
Cheryl's still here. We scratched
Cheryl is still living.
We fighting.
Cheryl still got a heartbeat. She got a heartbeat.
Thank you. Hey, Harry, make sure that you and Erna split up all that eBay stuff.
Well, you know Erna gonna get most of it because she can beat me to it.
Can I get that case of liquor that you sent to Ben Affleck?
Can we stop talking about this?